What's up guys, this is Ronnie. Welcome back to our channel Total Technology. This is tutorial 26 and today's topic will be ownership. We have already done few classes on ownership, but using some normal variables or some sort of like function. Now we'll be going to talk about Rust ownership using uh, this scenario, like calling a function with a struct as an argument. So we'll be calling a function and we'll be passing one struct as an argument to that function, and we'll see how the ownership rule will work. Okay, so nothing much to describe, so we'll do the description part after we complete the coding. So before that, let's start our coding, then we'll be able to understand what I'm actually trying to achieve, and ultimately it will clear the concept. Okay, so just give me some time. I think my laptop is not getting charged. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay, so let's first write down the code. Okay, like this. Okay, and before that we'll define one struct here. So struct user like this, and we'll write name is string, and let's say id is I32. okay, like this. Okay, then what we'll do, okay, this is actually, I did a mistake. It should be this bracket, not this one. Okay, like this, and here we'll create a why this is getting error, struct never okay, so now we'll construct the or create an instance of this struct. Okay, so for doing that, it will be let user underscore one, it will be user, and like this. So let's say name equals to, let's say my name Ronnie Das, and we'll use dot to underscore string. Okay, and then we'll use id equals to 123. okay, and we'll like this. Okay, so here it is saying okay, you want by default note on default consider an underscore. Okay, unused variable. Okay, fine. So now what we'll do, we'll try to print this thing. Print. So I'm first first I'm actually define the scenario, then we'll do it. First let me just do the coding, then I'll explain what actually I'm trying to achieve. Okay, it's not like this. Okay, comma. Okay, then it will be user underscore one dot name, comma user underscore one dot id. Like the name is this and id is this. Okay, so like this. So everything is done. Let me save this thing and let's run this thing. Okay, so it will print the name and id. So the name is Ronnie Das and the id is 123. So this is a simple program. We already have seen this thing, and so if someone is not familiar with this struct thing, could you please go back and watch the tutorial from tutorial 23, 24 and 25, this last 3 tutorials where you have already explained the struct. Now I'm going to talk about the ownership thing. We already started this thing. Now we'll see how the ownership rule is actually applicable in struct. So let's say now we'll be going to create another variable. Let how to do this thing. Okay, so this is how it works. So let create something called this is one way of doing this thing. I'm just thinking how to Hmm, I'm just thinking what else we can do. Okay. This is possible actually. Okay, so this is one way of doing this thing, but I'm just thinking in a different way, like how we can create the ownership thing. Okay, now let's change this thing actually. Okay, in a different way or like this, let me think. Okay, let's create a function. Okay, struct, let's create a print like this, or let's say a. I'm just thinking what are the values I should keep this thing. Let's create a method. Okay, struct print, okay, like this, and inside that we'll pass this thing. Okay, we'll call the function using this struct. Okay, like this. Okay, and after that, what it is saying, I cannot find the function. Yes, right. So let's define the function here, struct print. So this will be going to be one, let's say one user, like user function. So the type of this thing is struct, so we'll use this thing struct, and after that we will print we'll print user underscore print ln user underscore function dot name and user underscore function dot id. We'd like to print this thing, and for that let's say the same thing actually we are trying to achieve. The name is and id is. Okay, so this is actually we're trying to achieve. So what we'll do now, we'll remove this thing and we'll create here. So everything is constructed, so we are trying to achieve the name is this, the id is this, but now the problem is that quick unterminated double quote string, that has to be here actually. Okay, so the name is this and the id is this. So what is happening here, we called this function and we are calling this function with this string as an argument, and this function has been defined here. So what is going to happen, so this function will take the member from this struct actually, so name and id, and that will be printed, but we'll get an error here actually because of this. So let me save this thing, then I'll show you what are the different error we are getting. Only one error. The thing is that now let me explain. Okay, let me run this thing, then we'll explain the error. I think most of you are already familiar with the error. So there is no, see, the value borrowed after move. Okay, so what is happening here, so ownership of this struct is here actually, for this values is here. Okay, now I move the ownership from here to this thing, like the ownership has been moved. Okay, for this thing. After that I'm again trying to access this thing. Okay, so that is why what is happening, I am getting this error, because for this variables or this member, this thing is no more like responsible, because the value has been already moved to this function. The function is actually the owner, not anymore. This function is no more the owner of this thing. Okay, so value has been already moved, so that is why I'm getting the error. Okay, and here what is happening, here I'm just calling this thing with this this struct, and the type of the struct is this is a type, and this is a random name, we can give anything. And after that I'm trying to access this element using dot operator, so it is going to print. Okay, so that is why I'm getting the error. So this like normal rule here is also possible, and not possible, here is also that the fact is that if you are accessing one variable, sorry, you are actually trying to access one variable, and if that variable already moved his own move the ownership of his all contents or all values to another variable or another function, you will got the same error. Okay, the thing is that for these two variables or these two members, this method is no more owner, so the owner is now this struct print, this function. So that is why you are getting this error, because the ownership has been moved to here. So that is why we are getting the error. Okay, so let me change this thing here. Okay, let me change it to 14 or 12. Okay, so okay, let me do one thing. I will okay, what is my Visual Studio ID? Okay, it's here only. Let me take a copy of this thing, I'll put it here. So error, so this will be the error. So now how to mitigate that? So to mitigate that, we can use reference like this. So let me just do one thing, let me take a copy of this thing, and this is example 1. Let me write it here, example 1, and this is going to be example 2. Okay, thing, is this commented or not? I'm not sure actually. Let me check. Okay, it is actually commented, so let me comment this thing. Okay, so now we'll see the next thing, like how to mitigate this situation. So same thing, we'll be going to write here, the same code we'll write here. Okay, example 2, but rather like calling this directly, we'll use reference here and here. So both of this thing will be printed now. See the thing now, so this will be printed and this will be printed. So from function, and it will be printed from main. Okay, so let's run this thing now. See, I'm getting this thing. So first it is, this thing is getting called over here, and then it will be printed, and then the control returns back here, and we'll be getting this thing from main and from this thing. So how to like use the struct without like struct as an argument without changing the ownership of its member from the calling function to call function. So for that thing, you should use this reference operator. Okay, so here what is happening, we are only passing the reference of this struct, not the whole struct. We are not giving the ownership, so that is why we are not getting the error. So to mitigate that, you should always use this thing. Okay, So this is very important thing, guys. I believe this is going to be help you guys to understand the Rust ownership in a better way, because we till now whatever we have seen, that is fine. Like we did some simple example with variable, then we use function, and now we are using function with struct. So now it is getting more complicated. So initially we use variable, then we use variable with function. Now we are using function with variable, and that variable is not direct variable, that variable is actually as a member from a struct. Okay, so now you can understand we are actually going inside the we're going inside the the Rust components, and all the topics are going to be very advanced or intermediate to advanced now. So this is the right time. You guys should start developing your intuition, start practicing your code, or it will be difficult, because I'm not going to explain this thing, how to write, how to use dot operator, how to use struct and all that has to be come from your side, guys. So that's it, guys. Probably we'll upload more videos by this week or maybe next week. So please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button. If you have any suggestion, if you have any comment, you can write me directly. And if you want to add some other tutorial, please feel free to write me. I'll always there to help you. And if possible, if the channel, if you think is relevant for some of your family or friend, please share the channel with them. And last but not least, thank you very much for all the Udemy students for purchasing this course and like enroll to this course as well. So it's actually helping me a lot in this pandemic situation. You guys are always, and thanks for being there for me and to support me directly or indirectly. And I'll try to keep the quality maintain, and we'll always try to improve the quality. And please feel free to write me if you have any clarification or doubt, or if you are not able to understand something. I'll be always there, Udemy as well, to respond to your query. So that's it, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and have a nice day.